All right, we're back and we're here to talk about some college football bets. Follow us on Twitter. We give out our college basketball picks there. We try to do it as often as we can. Sometimes we don't get to it. But do you want to do I do you want to start with overs like we've been doing?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. I'll start out. So first over I've got, and I got to double check to make sure this game's actually still on because both teams have had some problems. Oh, come on, load. Okay, it's still on as of now. So the first over I've got is Houston, Memphis, two teams that have good offenses, don't play a whole lot of defense, kind of trend in the AAC. This total is only, I got it at 63. I got it on Thursday at 63, and that's to me too low. I know Houston's offense hasn't been as dynamic as Dana's Holgerson's offenses of past, but they're still a pretty good offense. They're still got some weapons out there, a really good receiver, a quarterback who's sort of kind of found himself, sort of
hmm
coming along now. Then you got Memphis with Brady White, who's been there forever. They're going to put up points. I think that's an easy over to take.
Yeah, I'm kind of tempted to take that one out. You bring it up 63. I feel like it's not a lot. Obviously Memphis. I don't want to say they've struggled, but they haven't looked like the Memphis of recent years. But I'm gonna go to a team that I have pretty much been riding most of the year for overs. Or to cover, and that's Alabama. I'm going to take the over 68. I think it's 68 and a half now against Arkansas. I don't think Alabama plays their starters the entire way, but Nick Saban has been someone that it takes a while to call off his dogs in a game. So I think that they'll probably come out, probably score 5 touchdowns in the first half, like they usually do. And then I think Arkansas is going to put up a fight. I think Arkansas is going to hang in there. Um, I think maybe they put up probably 21 points, maybe score 3 touchdowns, probably get one late to uh to keep it close. But I think like the over under 68. I don't see why Alabama doesn't put up 45, 48 points. And then at that point, you just need a couple scores from Arkansas. So I'm gonna take the over there. I think the 32 Alabama is just a little too much, but I'll take the over.
I'm interested in that one. I'm not going to take the over, but I am looking at that for some other aspects of the game that I might play later on. But my next over goes to a team we play a lot, and we talked about previewing their game, how they score a lot of points, and that's North Carolina, Miami. I don't want to play a side in that game because I do think it will be kind of a coin flip, but I will play the over. I got it yesterday as well, and I got it at 67 and a half. I could easily see, like you said, the final score being 42-35, somewhere in that range where you get over 70 points. So I think 67 and a half is a nice number that I got it at. So I took that.
Yeah, that was one I was looking at. So great minds think alike there. I haven't played it yet, but I'm looking at it. Um, The next one I'm gonna go with the second one that I haven't taken it yet, but I'm really tempted to is Akron at Buffalo. The over under is 58 and a half. Buffalo, was it 2 weeks ago now? They put up like 70
Against Kent
against
State.
Kent State. They had their game last week against Ohio canceled, but Akron's not a good team. They give up a ton of points. They get like they struggle a lot on defense. They're giving up. Let's see what they're giving up here. They're giving up. Oh, it doesn't tell me on the ESPN app. Um, the over unders 60. I don't like Buffalo can score on every possession in the first half. Same thing with Alabama. Like they can get 3/4 of the over by themselves, and then you just need a score or two from Akron. So
Yeah,
I'll probably end up playing that one. This I mean like the spread's 32.5, over under 58. So you're expecting Buffalo to score like 40 points, 50 points, something around in there. Like you're expecting like a 58-10 game. Like I don't like Buffalo can just run up and down the field on them. So I'll take the over there.
yeah. Akron's averaging giving up 38 points a game. Buffalo's averaging scoring 50 points a game. A little
Yeah.
inflated because of that Kent State game, and they haven't played many, but I think that's a good pick. My last one is going to stay in the MAC as well, and this is a team I like their offense, and I'm going to go with the Central Michigan against Toledo over. It's at 52.5. I think that's pretty low for a MACtion game. Yes, it's not midweek, but I still think Central Michigan's got a good enough offense to where they can score 4 or 5 touchdowns in this game, and that way you only need 3 from Toledo, and I think that's pretty doable because Central Michigan defensively isn't as stout as they are offensively, so I think that's an over that I'm going to take.
I don't have any other overs. The only under that I don't even know if I like want to play it. I think I kind of just it's like one of those unders that I kind of just feel like I need to play because I feel like I know how the game's gonna go, not so much because of the like number, but it's Wisconsin and Iowa. Over under is 41, so very very low for a college game. But both of these teams have great defenses. Both of these teams like Iowa put up 35 last week against Illinois, but they kind of struggled through most of the game to score. We've seen Wisconsin struggle really, really bad at times offensively. They have a great defense. Like I said, I don't know if I'll play this game, but that would be an under that I would look at just because both of those teams, I know how these games go. Like we have a mutual friend in Jake Masters, big Iowa fan. Like you talk to him, he's probably going to be like, yeah, this game's probably going to be 17-14, and it's like a low scoring game like that is how these games tend to go. So I think you kind of just have to take it because of that. So that's what I'm looking at. I'm tempted, but I'll see if I actually pull the trigger just because 41 points is not a lot of points.
Yeah, I don't have any unders because I've told myself I will no longer be taking unders because every single under I've taken in college football this year has not hit. So
Just for the record, what was the under you took 2 weeks ago
I don't
that
remember that one.
I believe you had the under in the Kent State Buffalo game. I
Oh
believe you
yeah, I did that.
here.
Okay, so I did that to spite everyone because everybody was saying take the over. And I
Take
was
the
like,
Buffalo.
well, if everybody's going to take the over, then the under's going to hit. And I thought I was having a big brain moment where I was like, oh, I'm going to outsmart out all these sharps and everything. But no, I was just an idiot and tried to make myself look smart. But I ended up looking like an idiot. So
Hey, you know what? Sometimes those if you're gonna lose a bet though, you want to lose it like that, where you just rip the Band-Aid off quick, get it over with, and move on with your day and never look back. We want to do favorites first or dogs first?
I've got a lot of dogs, so it's up to you either way.
All right, we'll start with favorites then. One of the favorites I am on is actually playing right now, Arizona State. So I'll just kind of touch on that one real quick since we'll release this after. But I'm on Arizona State minus 11.
Up 21-0 right now. So
Yeah, they're cooking right now. Knock on wood. I'm gonna place money on San Jose State as a favorite against Nevada tonight. I think we talked about this game a little bit earlier in the day. San Jose State at one point was -2.5. Got them at basically a pick 'em. I got them at -0.5. On the ESPN app right now, they are 1.5-point favorites. So everyone is taking Nevada. Nevada is 6-1. San Jose State's 5-0. San Jose State is like they have been one of the worst teams in the country in the last few years. Their defense this year has carried them. They've allowed 6, 21, 17, 17, and 24. Now, they haven't played the greatest teams. The Mountain West is just down a little bit this year, but their defense has shown that they can limit teams. They can hold teams to 3 touchdowns and then let their offense score 4 and win a game 20-21. And in a game with a defense like that at home against a team in Nevada who has looked good at times, I'm going to take San Jose State because I think that when you have a defense that is playing as well as their defense is this year at home, give me that team as a small favorite because I think you can get it to come down to San Jose State needs that one stop at the end of the game.
Okay, when we were talking earlier, I could have sworn you said basketball because I asked you basketball or football, and you said basketball. And it's because Nevada was favored by the same amount. And so I took the basketball one thinking you were talking about basketball.
So I have Nevada in basketball and I have San Jose in football.
Okay.
I have San
I was
Jose
getting
State
confused.
-0.5 in basketball
Okay.
and football, and then I actually have Nevada -1.5 in basketball, and then the line moved and they were
Yeah.
+1.5.
Okay.
So I have them at
Okay.
both. So yeah,
You
it's
had me confused there for a second, but now I'm back on track and I'm with you. So my first favorite, I usually like to do this with teams that are heavy favorites because they tend to always cover in the first half. So I've got Florida -13.5 first half. I've been doing this with Clemson. I've been doing this with Alabama. Been doing it with Ohio State. These teams that are heavy favorites in the first or in the game, they generally cover the first half because it's smaller, and they generally come out with their foot on the gas and they let up a little. So sometimes you can get backdoored in that second half. So I like to take that first half, and that's my first favorite for you.
yeah, you've been doing that for a while now. I started to do the trend too. I agree with you. I think I mentioned it when I was talking about the over with Alabama. 32 is a lot of points. So the first half would be maybe a play there. Same with Florida. I'm gonna go to Texas Kansas got canceled, which breaks my heart because that's one of my favorite plays of the year or favorite plays of the week. But I'm going to go. I got to find ESPN's crashing on me right now. Give me one sec here. I'm going to go with my other favorite. I'm going to go with Oklahoma State at Baylor. Sorry, ESPN wasn't working. The line wasn't pulling up. It's 5 right now. Baylor has not looked good this year. Like they have really, really struggled. They pulled a win out against Kansas. They hung with Oklahoma last week, but they've looked good in the last 2 weeks, but they have really struggled at times this year. Oklahoma State, they're not playing the Big 12 championship, but 5 points is not a lot to give, not a lot to lay. They had a tough loss last week at TCU. I think they're going to bounce back. I think they're going to let out some steam. I think they're going to kick the crap out of Baylor, and they're going to make a case for why they're still a top 25 team, even though they've got 3 losses, which, like we talked earlier, doesn't really make a lot of sense on why they're still a top 25 team with 3 losses. But I think laying 5 with Oklahoma State is against a bad Baylor team is not. The only thing that scares me about Baylor is Brewer, I believe, is a senior this year. Last game at home, weird vibes there probably. I'm sure same thing with Sam Ellinger and those these senior quarterbacks have been around for a while. But I could have sworn this line was like 7 earlier in the day. That's why I was trying to find it on ESPN, because seeing it down at 5, I was kind of like, okay, now I feel more comfortable laying it. It's under a touchdown, could even drop some more. So I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State.
I'm actually not a fan of that bet. I don't have a bet on that game, but these are two teams that aren't good offensively. Both have pretty good defenses. So I'm not really gonna endorse that pick that you just made. But
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like that, like now that it's only 5, like now that makes it more intriguing for me. If it was 7 or 7.5, where I think it was earlier, then I'm like, don't want that as much. Now that it's lower, I feel a little bit more comfortable, because you're saying Oklahoma State is the better team, and now they only have to win by 5 instead of by 10, maybe. Give me that.
makes sense. I've got two more favorites. How many do you have?
Those are it. I have the
Okay.
rest are dogs for me as well.
All right, so I'll rattle off my two other favorites that I've got. I've got Army -7. Like I said, they're the more physical team. I think this might be a little more padding in the win than in recent memory. Recent memory, these games are usually pretty close, but I think Army, like I said, they're more motivated, they're more physical, and that's really good when you're playing or when you have two triple option teams. So I'll take Army. I got them at -7 yesterday. I don't know what they're at now, but I'd still take them because I think they win probably by 2 touchdowns. It's not a lot, but they're going to probably win by 2 touchdowns, in my opinion. The other one I've got is Coastal, coming off a big win and getting a little disrespected in the polls, like we talked about. I got them at 13.5. I think that's a nice number. Troy's a decent team, but they've played better teams than Troy, and I think with that ranking and with everything, I think they come out a little more motivated. Could be a letdown spot, but I think because of the ranking, they'll come out motivated and they win this one pretty easily. And then I'll get into dogs. And the first dog I like a money line, and that's Wake Forest playing Louisville. Louisville just had Tutu Atwell, a really good receiver, opt out for the rest of the year. Louisville's been a mess most of the year. And I think Wake Forest, for whatever reason, has been undervalued most of this year. And I think that's a nice bet there. They could even be favorites now. I got them when they were still underdogs. I got them at +140 on the money line.
Yeah, I'll probably add the Army game. Couple of my favorites that I've been playing that had games canceled, betting against Kansas, obviously, and I've been liking the trend of betting against a few teams in those games that are unfortunately getting canceled. My first dog that I am going to take, I think this is a money line one. I'd have to see if I can find the money line. I'm going to go UCLA getting 3 against USC. USC has looked good, but like I don't think people realize how good UCLA has looked in the past few weeks. They beat a good Arizona State team last week. They struggled with Arizona, but it is what it is. They lost by a field goal at Oregon in a game they really should have won. They had a bad pick at the end of the first half. Really need to should have cut down the turnovers. I think UCLA is a better team than people think, so I'm going to take the 3 with them. I think USC is really, really good, but give me the 3 in the Rose Bowl with the Bruins.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there with the UCLA aspect, and I think another thing that I would watch at least would be the over or the total in the first half, because both these teams offensively score a lot of
Mm-hmm.
points in the first half and then tend to kind of fall off a little in the second half. So that's something I might play as well. I know it's not an underdog, and kind of backtrack there, but that's something that I've noticed with both of these teams. The next underdog I have is kind of a painful one, but it's another program. I've got Duke at +5 at Florida State. Florida State's got a lot of things going on. They're still transitioning into Mike Norvell's system, into his football team. They've looked unmotivated when they have played, and then even when they don't play, they're running from games, as some other teams are saying. So I think Duke at +5 here is a good spot. So it's a painful one, but I'm going to take that.
Yeah, I mean, Florida State has looked just like you say, kind of just disinterested at times tomorrow. I like I don't want to say that they didn't want to play Clemson, but it definitely looks a little sketchy like that.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it either because you never. I mean, they probably did have some COVID cases.
Right.
And you don't want to
Um,
say that.
I know like their Blackman, their starting quarterback last year, transferred. Purdy, the younger brother Brock Purdy at Iowa State, he got hurt for the year. Like their quarterback has been decimated. They've had players opt out, players get hurt for the year. Like it's just they're in shambles right now. So that's a good pick. I like that one. My next dog is I am going to go with Mississippi State. Excuse me. They're getting 6.5 at home against Auburn. What are you doing?
I like that one a lot. Keep going. Keep going.
I had to burp and then I just couldn't. They're getting 6.5 at home against Auburn. I think we kind of talked. Auburn's not as bad uh, as Florida State is in terms of like giving up on the year, but they have to be close. Like you get the crap kicked out of you in the Iron Bowl. You are winning against Texas A&M, and really, I don't want to say should have won, but like you had opportunities to win against A&M, and you don't win. Like, and it's Bo Nix on the road, never plays well on the road. I think Mississippi State has shown they have a decent defense. They can compete on defense, and offensively, like they're still trying to figure things out. So I'm gonna take Mississippi State there to cover the 6.5. I think we talked about with Georgia. Like Georgia's always ranked too high and everything. Auburn's another team that like when they get ranked, they always get ranked too high. And whenever people think of Auburn, like same thing here. Like why is Auburn giving 6.5 on the road? They should not be favored by 6.5 on the road. So give me Mississippi State.
Yeah, I've got the same mindset there. I've got Mississippi State as well. I actually might sprinkle them in a little money line action that day because I do agree with you. And I think Mississippi State, their last two games offensively have shown signs of life. That Georgia game, they showed signs of life. They really hung around with Georgia, even though they probably shouldn't have because they had 40 scholarship players there. And then I can't remember who they played last, but I know they looked decently on offense as well in that game. So I might sprinkle a money line. Who knows? But the next one I've got is Oregon State, who's hosting Stanford, and they're +3 for some unknown reason because they beat Oregon, and Oregon State's looked pretty good most of the year. While they haven't, I mean, the record's 2-3. That's not great.
They should have beat Washington.
Yeah, they should have beaten Washington.
I did watch that game, and that was – you want to talk about getting hosed. I mean, hosed on a spot. Look up that game.
Yeah, so I mean, they're 2-3, but they're a lot better than their record says. It's a good team. I like what the coach is doing out there. They're on the come up, and I think +3 against Stanford, who hasn't really shown much to me. I think that's a fair That's a good line to take there. Um,
I know. I
Oregon,
agree. I think this is another game where you look at and you say, why is Stanford favored on the road? So that
well,
same thing with Auburn.
Oregon State's 4-1 against the spread this year, so that also helps.
I don't think I have any more.
Oh, I've got two more then.
I don't think I got any more dogs. Let me go back through
Oh,
here and
I've got one more.
make sure I don't have any more.
Well, I've got one more, and
Yeah, go
it's
ahead.
in
Go
the
ahead.
Sun Belt. Appalachian State at Georgia Southern. Now, Georgia Southern's laying 9 points right now, but I got them at 9.5, and I think that's a good place to get them. These two teams, Appalachian State 7-3, Georgia Southern 7-4. They're two teams that usually compete for the top of the Sun Belt. And Georgia Southern also runs a slow pace. They run the football a lot. So I think they're just going to eat away at this clock, especially at home. They're going to try and shorten the game for them, giving themselves a better chance to win this game. And I think plus 9.5. I think this game comes down to a touchdown, a field goal, and I think plus 9.5 or plus 9 is too high.
Yeah, I like your logic there. I don't think I have any other. I thought I had one more, but I think the game got canceled because I'm not finding it.
Yeah, I had Oklahoma first half, and then I had Oklahoma over. That got
Yep.
canceled.
I liked Oklahoma. Yeah, like damn, like I was gonna take Texas over Texas to cover against Kansas.
Going to take
Miami of Ohio to cover against Bowling Green. Oklahoma to cover West Virginia. Ohio State to cover over Michigan. Dang. Yeah, I don't have anything else now. I think all of my games that I was on are canceled. Dang. Yeah, because I do like the Oregon State pick. I think I'm gonna end up taking that one.
Yeah, I think they're better than people realize. Same thing with Wake Forest. I think those two teams are better than people realize. And they just kind of look at the names that they're playing, kind of write them off, which they shouldn't, especially Stanford's played pretty poorly this year.
I do also really like the first half overs. Probably end up taking it with Alabama and Florida. I know Ohio State's game got postponed. Clemson, I don't believe, is playing this week.
No, they gave Notre Dame and Clemson the week off.
I don't think there's any other really big spreads where you'd want to take the first half line. Maybe BYU against San Diego State, but San Diego State's
pretty good.
Hung around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have right now. I'll take that. I'll look at.
With that being said, again, follow us on Twitter from_nose. From the nosebleeds, our full name. Follow us there. We'll probably have more plays if we have them, and we'll be right back with college basketball.